It's remarkable how each individual, each person on this planet expresses his or her love differently. And if you really want to elevate your consciousness, if you really want to go beyond yourself and get past your own mind and sometimes the pettiness of it, the only thing you need to bear in mind is everybody is going to express their love differently. And if I love somebody and I expect them to express themselves exactly the way I would express, then that is ignorance. No emotion is permanent in this world. And then to expect a sort of permanence or extraordinarily consistent emotion or emotions from those around us, it's a little impractical. People will change, people do change, but that does not mean they don't love you or you don't love them. It simply means they are undergoing their own transformation. In very recently, you must be knowing, there was this huge case of massive bushfires in Australia. Millions and millions hectares of land was burned. Something like 1 billion animals died. Very tragic and very painful. One of the firefighters there, I read this story when it was all going on, this article, a news item. His truck got caught in the middle of that fire tornado. And he called his mother. He texted his mother, I'm sorry, I don't think I'll make it today. And his mother felt so desperate. And after that, she tried calling him, but nothing would go through. The cell phone towers and so on, everything just everything broke down. She could not get through, and she called the fire services because he was volunteering with rural fire services, but she just could not get through. But the team leader knew a method or two to get out of that fire tornado. So he guided them, and somehow he managed to get out. They managed to escape without much harm to them. And 2.5 hours, the mother could not get through to her son. And she was constantly oscillating between, is my son alive or is my son dead? Is he burned or is he okay? Or is he somewhat burned? Is he in some hospital? She called every single hospital in the vicinity where her son had been. But obviously, many of the communication channels were down. She could not get through. But her son survived. He escaped. And that woman said that I'm forever thankful to that team leader who helped my son. He's welcome in our home any day at our table to break bread with us. But the most beautiful thing, she said, sometimes or all the time people tell me to delete that text. That text that her son had sent her when he was nearly dying. She said, people tell me, why do you keep looking at this text? Why don't you delete this text? Just delete it. You got to erase the memory. You got to look up. You got to be forward looking. You should be happy. He's back and so on. And she starts to cry in that interview. She says, I cannot delete that text. It's a mother's heart. Only a mother understands. She said, I cannot delete this text. She said, because in that time, when he was in pain, when he was facing death, he thought of me. And I feel this is the only way I could be with him. I will never delete this text, she said. It's remarkable how each individual, each person on this planet expresses his or her love differently. And if you really want to elevate your consciousness, if you really want to go beyond yourself and get past your own mind and sometimes the pettiness of it, the only thing you need to bear in mind is everybody is going to express their love differently. And if I love somebody and I expect them to express themselves exactly the way I would express, then that is ignorance. That leads to conflict and friction and stress and arguments and everything else that follows. But if I can accept that this is the fabric this person is made of, this is the basic nature of this person, this is how he or she expresses themselves. When we stop trying to change others around us and instead focus on ourselves, that's what Krishna meant when he said Atma Sanyam Yoga. Shitoshna Sukh Dukheshu Tatha Manapmanyu. Some days you will be met with great glory. Some days you'll be absolutely gutted. At times people will praise you, at times they won't. It's okay. It really means nothing at the end of the day. Sometimes it can get to you, I don't deny that. Sometimes words, we cannot shield ourselves from every word that's thrown at us. But we can have a different system of processing. You have this VIP file. If this is important file, it goes in this tray. If this is an ordinary thing, it goes in this tray. You have your favorite numbers on your cell phones. Even if it's DND, do not disturb, that call still comes through. So you may not be able to shield yourself who calls you, but you can have a different processing system based on what or who somebody is telling you. And that, as always, I say, requires mindfulness. The king of Macedonia, I think in the 5th century BC, before Christ, or around that period, once wrote to, there was this kingdom called Spartan in Greece, the Sparta kingdom, and they were warriors of extraordinary ability. So he wrote to them, the king of Macedonia, when the Spartans were toward their end. It was dwindling and the kingdom was just crumbling. So he wrote, he said, look, I strongly suggest you surrender. Because if we enter in your city, we will destroy everything. Now, this city, the city of the people, the Laconia, they were known for using very few words. So much so, an expression Laconian came into the dictionary of suggesting somebody who speaks very less. And the opposite of Laconian is Om Swami, by the way. So, getting back to our story, the king of Macedonia wrote, if we enter your town, we'll destroy everything and we will capture you. And then through his messenger, the Laconian king sent a message back. using his trademark very few words. He replied, if. That was his only answer. If you're getting, only then everything will follow. So he just wrote if with an exclamation. And there is that barrier. If that happens, then everything else. But if. So when thoughts flow, when expectations come, just gushing in your consciousness, when you feel this is it, there is that barrier of mindfulness. There is that barrier of devotion. There is that gate of surrender that you can use to protect yourself. And everybody, ultimately, one way or the other, their primary concern is them. So if you take care of the concerns of other people, nature will take care of your concerns. Try it any day. Start doing it. It'll take you a while, but eventually nature turns around. That's how it works. You do your job. You take care of somebody, nature will take care of you. You can't say, I'm taking care of you, therefore you must take care of me. That was never the arrangement. This is what we have come to expect. This is not necessarily what actually works in the real world out there. And the only way to have the whole of universe work with you, to summon the great powers of the mysteries of this entire existence, this creation, is practice selflessness. And just examine what really hurts you the most. Break that conditioning first. It's the most painful, but it's going to be the most liberating aspect of your life. Whatever hurts you the most, go to the root of it, break that conditioning before any other. Because that is what is draining you. That is what is really taxing. That's what's drawing all your energy and leaving you restless. And everybody has something or the other that hurts them. That one thing that you think, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to deal with it. That's the thing to deal with. That's the thing to resolve. Either get over it or go through it and understand it. Because the moment you develop an understanding of the object or the subject of pain, that will cease to be painful. That suffering only exists in non-understanding, in ignorance, in mindlessness. The moment you understand something, it will no longer be a sorrowful thing for you. Because now you understand it. You get it. When somebody is sick, for example, they are terminally sick, they just want to know from the doctor what's the real truth. They say, just tell me the truth so I can handle it, so I can prepare myself for it. As opposed to the doctor saying, everything's going to be fine, don't worry, just make sure you pay all the bills today before you check out. Because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But if the doctor says, look, I think you better get your affairs in order, things aren't looking too good, then the person says, but I have a lot of willpower, I'll fight. Very few people will say, okay, I give up. Understanding gives you the strength you need to deal with challenges. And repeatedly, so often in so many of our Upanishads, we have this constant example of a rope versus a snake. If a rope is lying in front of you and it's a little dark and you don't know what it is, if you think it's a snake, immediately you feel this fear. Unless you're in China, in which case you might just slice off and eat. You feel this fear. It's like a cheese string, you just peel off, and so you feel this fear. And you think there's a snake. And when you know the rope is not moving, you think the snake is dead. The fear is now less, but you don't know if it's actually dead. But the moment you discover, oh, it's just a rope, then you say, there is no fear. It goes away. So anything we anticipate in fear is usually the fear of the unknown. And the moment I develop an understanding towards it, that fear will go away.